Hello, honorable members of the clan. So welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, last night there was some breaking news of some sort, even though I was a little bit late on that. But the message, it seems like it did get through and resonated, and also had a nice discussion in my comment section. Again, guys, once I get to around 50 comments, for some reason, I can no longer click and respond. Some I noticed if I continue trying, I may get through, some I don't. But anyways, that's not the point. The point here is I wanted to go through the Sunday World article that broke the story about Absolom Zungu, who was like, no, you guys need to know the truth about Brigadier Gininda and the things that he has put me through and how terrified I am. Guys, in your head, you must have it in the back of your mind that this is an old man. And so there are some few things that I picked up while I was reading this article last night, is that it kind of confirms most of my suspicions and you guys, because we've suspected this before. Once again, clan members, I am blessed having you in my life because we've dissected this before. We've analyzed this before. We've discussed it in my lives before, and we all came to the same conclusion. Things are being smeared on innocent people. People that are brought on that stand, they either have something on them and they are told, you better take that stand and say these scripts, or we are going to arrest you, or this is what we are going to do to you. There's a part in the article that truly broke my heart. An old man, you know, as an old person, you are ready. You've lived your life, you've got the kids, you've done whatever it is that you could in life. You may not have gotten everything. And at a certain age, you are just there, you know, just breathing, because you are not God, right? So you're just going to have to wait on him to do what he has to do. But you want it to be done in God's way, not a man's way. So much so that this man, when Brigadier Gininda allegedly called him and said, I want to meet you in an open felt. Now, come on. On this trial, open felts, as we know them, they are for type of situation. So can you imagine, from what we have heard, especially from the people that are accused, falsely accused, mind you, of unaliving Senzo Meyiwa, saying, we were tortured to say the things that are on that piece of paper. We don't know Senzo Meyiwa, never been to Senzo Meyiwa's house. We only saw him on television playing soccer. But somehow they managed, through and suffocation and all those sort of stuff, get this coerced statement that was accepted by the presiding officer. No questions asked. So now an old man is saying, I am terrified to meet you. Terrified. So I asked the question last night. Basically, it was more like an advice to those that already took the stand. And I'm saying to you, blow the whistle. Because clearly, either you were promised something, given something, or you were threatened with something if you did not take that stand. So now let me go through some few things that I picked up on the article, and I want us to pat ourselves on the shoulder, because Mr. Absolom Zungu, he's kind of like confirming some of these things. Once again, this is a trial, guys. Everything is alleged until it is factual. When what am I saying? So now Sunday World says exclusive key witness in Senzo. Now the witness part is inverted commas. Senzo Meyiwa case throws Bongani Gininda under the bus. Now, I'm not quite sure what this headline means by throwing Gininda under the bus, because the metaphor to me says, we agreed, but I'm going to throw you, for my own protection, then you throw somebody under the bus. Yeah, that's what it means. So now the parts that I want to read is witness denies implicating two suspects. Now, remember we said that it looks like our police force, which is now clearly it's the case, the work of the detectives doesn't exist anymore. They get a case, all they have to do now is look for somebody to smear this matter on so that it's solved. Whether the person did it or not, hey, the case is solved because apparently in the South African Police Service, there is a quota system that if you solve X number of cases a year, you will be facing promotion at some point. You'll be noticed for promotion. So, of course, promotion means more money means also more power means status, more status also means we get to do whatever we want type of situation, as you heard in Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi on Sunday when he dropped those several bombshells, right? Now, it says here, Zungu says he never deposed to a sworn statement nor provided any information implicating accused Muzi Sibiya and Bongani Ntanzi despite Gininda's testimony claiming so. Yeah, because it's smeared on these two. And I did say that Gininda made a miscalculation when he brought in Ntanzi and Sibiya. If we had gone with accused 3, 4, and 5, I think they would have sold this successfully to the people of South Africa because you have to think about it. I mean, accused 3, accused 4, and accused 5, they are serving serious sentences. So at least you would have created a shadow of doubt in our minds. But when you went for Ntanzi as well as Sibiya, that's where the brakes were put on. Like, wait a minute, this does not make any sense. And so we had, what's his name? Now we find out it's not actually Senzo Zungu. It is somebody else. Okay, what's going on with my phone? He is somebody else. It's not what we thought it was. Anyways, I'm sorry, my phone is just acting up. All right. And then the second part, the sworn affidavit denies all. Of course it's going to deny all because it's smeared. And the part that really got me is this part. Gininda based case on witness statement. Zungu has distanced himself from any alleged statement to the police as claimed by Gininda. He said he was now fearing for his life and scared of Gininda, who appears hell-bent on involving his name in the Meyiwa trial. Of course, Gininda, if this is true, he will be hell-bent. His career is on the line. Probably his liberty is also on the line. By liberty, I'm talking about his freedom. Him now being thrown behind bars. We must never forget the case of Kretcher. He was found to be a torturist of witnesses to coerce them to make confessions. I now fear for my life that I am not safe at all because lately Brigadier Gininda keeps on phoning me that he wants to meet me in an open field and I should not tell anyone or come with someone. Muzi Sibiya, Ntanzi, what happened to them in the open field again? Yeah, suffocated. This is an old man whose lungs probably will not be able to take the plastic over his head and pulled back. He will not be. His lungs are not that of a 24-year-old Ntanzi. And he is right to be fearful because it's clear, if this is true, that everybody that is on that stand, that's exactly what happened to them. They fear him. I mean, that regalia that we saw at the inspection in local says it all. And we've been saying it. Come on, who dresses like that unless you are intimidating somebody? That stuff was scary. It was scary. So your point is across. Probably that is why Absolom Zungu was like, you know what? I think the message is clear, even though he didn't say anything. Let me just tell the public, just like Clantis did. I'm just gonna let the public know about who this person is. He is not what you think he is. And then Absolom Zungu continues to say that. But I keep on telling him that I will not be able to meet him because I am afraid of him, Zungu affidavit continues. Now he's gone as far as telling Brigadier Gininda, I am afraid of you. Now, it's like a child. I don't know an adult who doesn't believe what a child says. Yes, some children are naughty. Right? But the truth is always told by a child, just like an old person. An old person will not lie. And then it goes on the denials about the 300,000 and 3 million rand that was promised to Bongani Ntanzi's father, if only he would give up his son by making a confession that he told him that indeed he's responsible for the death of Senzo Meyiwa. My son Sikumbuzo Zungu, we thought it was Sizwe Zungu, who is also a police official in Gauteng, was also phoning me and trying to convince me to meet Brigadier Gininda. I know the story of Judas, but a son? Maybe a prodigal son is even better because he comes back home and his father opens his arms wide and say, in your father's house, there are many rooms. This one wants his father unalived, it would seem. Why would your son want you to go on a stand as an old person and go lie? He's an old man. He is preparing for the other side, and you want him to jeopardize that. For what? Wow. And then he continues to say, as recently as a fortnight ago, that's 2 weeks ago, Gininda told court that Zungu could not come before the court to back up his statement in person because he was scared. I wonder why. Why? And shouldn't he be subpoenaed if indeed he did dispose of that statement? Why didn't Arada say, no, this is a trial. We are talking about people's lives here. He better be here. That's because Gininda knew if Mr. Zungu took the stand, he would have told the judge and the country, I did not do such. Fear for his life. But Zungu says that the person he is scared of is Gininda, who has been steadfast in trying to convince him to become a state witness, even promising to give him some gratification, which we think people were given gratification, particularly those were in the house. It's our opinion. We're not saying it happened. We were not there. But when you are putting your spectacles on and switching on your brain, come on now, seriously. Because the stories were not storing on the stand. One, even two, or maybe all three were very rude. Very, very rude. For what? Miss Popol? The investigating officer at no stage met me, and if he met me, where is my statement? Yeah, because on the statement, I think there's an X because apparently he's not educated. He doesn't know how to write. Oh, it's his thumbprint or something like that. Now, we want to see that thumbprint if indeed it's that of Absolom Zungu. Pretoria, you are right there. I'm sure the population registry office is not far from the North Gauteng High Court. Let's do some proving here. Let's do some proving. If I did submit it, they have to show me that statement. Brigadier Gininda at some stage wanted my bank account so that they can deposit money if I was willing to testify charged Zungu. Now, here is the thing. Right now, we are hearing stories of the intelligence slash fund. Apparently, it's one of the largest in the country, and everybody wants to get their hands on. And from what I understand about that slash fund is that it's to pay informants. It's also for other intelligence stuff. So now it's kind of like getting a little bit clear to me, because remember in the opening of the trial, there were some things that were classified. Yeah, intelligence. And Judge Rata would not want to traverse that road on classified information. And remember, not Zungu, Sibiya was also arrested because of informants. Ntanzi also was arrested because informants gave him up his whereabouts. So clearly, that slash fund for this man who really probably wants to be the police commissioner, national police commissioner at this stage, that's my suspicion. If not the minister of police, God help us all. And he probably, that's where he gets the money to pay some of these people. I'm not saying he is. I'm just rubbing my two IQs here. From what we heard from Clantis, I'm not going. Clantis is the guy who laid the foundation of our suspicions actually built up into this mansion that we are now in. Right? So, yeah. So they were going to deposit money to go and ruin two young people's lives. Again, I see the other three. They are convicted to very long sentences. But these two young men, those are the ones that we are crying for the loudest. Those are the ones that we're crying. Yes, we are also saying you cannot smear a false accusation on those that are already serving, I'm sorry about that, that are already serving a long life sentence. You cannot do that for a crime they did not commit. They acknowledge the ones they committed. That's why they're not making any noise. But the Senzo one, no. The justice needs to go to the right place. The person that pulled the trigger. That's all that we want. Not to lie to us, not to smear anybody with things they did not do. And again, it's becoming quite clear as well with the false charges that are thrown at Nhlanhla and everyone else that are being arrested simply because they want to protect the intelligence slash fund. All of this is about money. All of this. And somebody, it's about promotion. Maybe he wants to take over Mr. Mula. Who knows what his plans are? I mean, imagine, the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial is a high profile. This is something that is going to go down in your legacy as the officer that solved it. So, of course, anybody that has to do any, promotions, they'll have to consider you for solving a decade-old mystery. He was playing us. Absolom Zungu continues to say, Brigadier Gininda lied at court that I was not willing to testify, knowing very well that I did not submit any statement. Again, why did the judge did not force Gininda to get this witness on the stand? He's the one who deposed a statement, right? And implicated two of the accused, right? What a subpoena is not a court order. Whether you are fearful or not, you take the stand. There are resources of the state to make sure that you are safe. Even if it means we have a virtual testimony from him from home. I never made any statement to Brigadier Gininda about the death of Senzo Meyiwa because I know nothing about that. Only my son, who told me that he was called by the accused to meet him in a hostel in Gauteng, where my son gave them a firearm and car keys and left him. Then he came back later and changed clothes and put firearms on the table, and later there was a bribe for celebration. That's another question we were asking. And Judge Rata jumped in and protected the son on the stand when he was being asked, you are a police officer. You are hanging out with criminals. Not only are you hanging out with criminals, you take your service pistol and you keep it amongst criminals. And Judge Rata stopped it and said, do not answer that question on the grounds of self-incrimination. Okay, I got that. But that was not supposed to be Judge Rata's responsibility. It was supposed to be the state who was quiet, in my opinion at least. And so that was quashed, that question. But it still lingers in everybody's mind. Why were you hanging out with criminals with your service pistol? Unless, in my opinion, he is one of those police officers that hire out their service pistol to criminals. And could it be the reason why he took the stand and lied through his teeth? Because probably Gininda knows about his transgressions of hiring the service pistol to criminals. Because around the time 2014, 2011, 2012, 2014, 15, there were some police officers that were being accused of hiring their fire pistols, the service pistols, to criminals. Could it be one of those? I don't know. So there are many questions that are surrounding the son, Senzo Zungu. And the father is saying, no, I never said anything of that nature. I never called them, never met them. I don't know what you are talking about. And yes, I did not come to that court because Gininda knows he's lying. And we've been saying this. We've been saying this since the beginning, that this trial does not make sense. And it's an unfair trial because the same Senzo Zungu, during the trial, within the trial, he was saying, oh, I took this statement and, oh yeah, the second thing before I forget, this man called Senzo Zungu knew of this information from 2014 and he only spills the beans in 2019. 6 years, a family is crying day and night, asking for justice. And you as a police officer who sworn an oath to serve and to protect, and you are withholding such information. Isn't there like a provision in our criminal justice system that talks about withholding of information? I can't remember what it's called. Something about combating crime and all of that stuff. That if you know of a crime and you do not disclose it, you are guilty of defeating the ends of justice. And he's not charged with that. But they are giving all kinds of excuses why Zungu was sitting with this information for 6 years. Because it doesn't exist. It never was in his heart. It was never in his heart. The state needed to find accused, suspects, and then they went and got innocent people, and that is why they are now on the stand, in the dock. And we are not going to allow our justice system to be misused, because you are opening a precedent that will forever undone. Where innocent people, and the question is how many innocent people that are convicted of crimes they did not commit, and the judge knows that the judges that convicted them knew that no. But because of what we heard now, because prosecutors are involved, police officers are involved, detectives, magistrates, which now makes sense why the first magistrates in the Boksburg Magistrates Court took the decisions they took and made the remarks that they made. And it also makes sense why Ntanzi went and made a confession with a, I don't know if I should say fake lawyer, because he's a lawyer now, I mean an advocate now, who the state refuses for him to take the stand. Why? What is the state afraid of? Do you see so many things are not making sense here? And the revelations that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, Brigadier, Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi or General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has revealed, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. That court case, when it returns on the 21st of July, if you still believe in it, get yourself checked, honestly, at this point. Key witness that could throw these 5 people behind bars for life says, I never deposed a sworn statement. So again, what does this say to us? As a South African citizen, especially when you're a male, you are a sitting duck on the South African Police Service when they cannot solve a crime. They're coming after you. And you better not look like a criminal. You better not look like one. See some of us trying to look like dictators of a country. Because, I'm kidding. Somebody said in the comment section I look like a president of somewhere. Because of my hair pushed back and all. But anyways, guys, I thought let me come here and highlight some few things that we spoke about here. And Absolom Zungu's case that he has opened against Brigadier Gininda in the Newcastle police station kind of like speaks to those things that we figured as the clan. We figured these things and we're like, no, can't be. No, this can't be. As the trial within a trial told it all, guys. All of it. So we are expecting some arrests, some prosecutions, and convictions of everybody that took the stand, most of whom are police officers. And the question is, what does Gininda has over y'all? Miss Cronje, what does Gininda have over you, ma'am? What is it? All of y'all. At this point, that's the question we are asking. It's a question we are asking. Anyways, guys, I would leave it right here. If you have your own thoughts, if something that I left out, put in the comment section. Let's do what we do best, analyzing the situation. Try and make sense of it. Rub our 2 IQs together, and hopefully justice will be served. Looks like justice has to go elsewhere as well of everybody that took the stand.